Hello and welcome everybody to another game cast by Glitch. This is game 3 of MarineKingPrime versus oGsTheSC. This is a TVT on Tal'Darim Altar. This, as I said, is game 3 of a series played on Battle.net. Again, as I said in game 1, I'm not sure the purpose of these games, whether they were trying to do a best of 5, whether they were just practice matches, I am not sure. All I know is that they were 4 matches between them, and they were played on Battle.net. So, as you can see, MarineKingPrime has spawned as the blue Terran in the bottom right corner of Tal'Darim Altar, while oGsTheSC has spawned in the top left corner. In the previous 2 games, we saw, if you hadn't seen them, we saw a couple quick and decisive wins by MarineKingPrime. First, he did a very nice push with some Hellions, Marines, and a Banshee, and were able to take down the front door of oGsTheSC, and he was just not prepared for that big of an early attack, and was forced to GG out of that game. And then for the second game, oGsTheSC decided to try to go for a proxy 2 racks, and proxy racked 2 racks right outside the natural of MarineKingPrime, and was unable to do enough damage. MarineKingPrime actually got a second command center up at his natural, and oGsTheSC knew he would not be able to keep up with the econ of MarineKingPrime and was forced to GG out. Both players again going for, so far, identical builds. Hard to deviate too much from these builds. Supply depot, barracks. A gas geyser has gone down for both, so both are mining gas. So far following completely identical builds. Both players, interestingly enough, going for the 16 orbital command. Now, I'm not sure the reason for going for the 16 orbital command. I'm not a Terran player. I'm not a hardcore Terran player. I do enjoy playing Terran every now and then. They are usually my off race. If I'm not playing Zerg, I do enjoy playing Terran. But I almost always go for the 15 command center. That is what is widely regarded as the best time to get that command center up. But both players went for the 16 orbital command. Did I say command center before? 16 orbital command after the gas. I don't know if that is what is common to do when you get that early gas, to go for a 16 orbital command rather than the 15, but both players seem to have known to do that. So hey, who am I to argue with those 2 amazing Korean players? Factory now going down for MarineKingPrime. And we have a factory also going down for oGsTheSC. So both players, they did this in the first game as well. Both players just going for identical builds. Both players just playing for the Destiny Cloud Fist. Or at least that was what they did in game 1. Game 2 here, we're now seeing oGsTheSC come out with a Reaper, which is now moving across the map. We do have an SCV down here, so we will see if he can actually plant down any kind of bunkers. So far, this SCV just sitting on the Xel'Naga watchtower, making sure that nothing is able to come out. He has pulled this Marine back, and that Reaper, did I miss that Reaper? Did I lose that Reaper? No, there he goes. The Reaper is still out on the field. He has not been able to come in and do any kind of scouting yet. But I like this play by oGsTheSC. I think it's very common now that a lot of Terran players have just completely forgotten about Reapers. They did get a small nerf in a previous patch, and ever since then, they've been very, very highly underused. I think it's very common that Terran players forget how mobile these units are. These units allow not only to get some early drone kills if you want to try to do some harassment with them, but they're also just excellent units for scouting. They're very fast, they move across the map quite quickly, are able to hold Xel'Naga towers quite easily, and because of their ability to jump up and down ledges and things, it makes terrain kind of a non-issue for them. These 2 Reapers, however, are coming in and trying to get some early drone kills. Managed to pick off, so far, nothing. Managed to deal some damage to that SCV there, but other than that, no damage has been dealt, and those Reapers just got taken out having done no damage, so not the best control there by oGsTheSC. But he does have a starport now, which is interestingly producing a Viking. Now, I'm not entirely sure the reason for this Viking. I can assume that it used to be very common style of Terran play to go that Marine siege tank route, but to get a couple of Vikings early just to give them that extra scouting range to reduce the number of scans that they need to do for their siege tanks, just to give those siege tanks that vision, they would get those Vikings out. I'm not sure if that is what oGsTheSC is going for here, but he is supply capped, which is very interesting. He's supply capped himself at the 35 food mark, putting him way behind MarineKingPrime's food count. So this is actually interesting. I'm not sure the reason for this. This cloaked Banshee has now come across the map though, and is starting to deal a lot of damage to some SCVs. Did it manage to get many kills? Yes, it did get 3 kills before this missile turret came up. And now the scan goes down, and that should take care of that Banshee. Interesting play here by both players. Both players going for very interesting builds. MarineKingPrime here with a lot of Marines, a Siege Tank, and a Banshee. While the STC has gone for Reapers, followed by Vikings, a Marine, a Siege Tank, and a Raven. Which this is a very interesting move. So both players not going for the most standard of Terran versus Terran builds. Again, I'm not a strictly Terran player. I play Terran every now and then, but this is just not a style of play I see that often. Very interesting move here by both players. MarineKingPrime now moving across the field with his group of Marines, a couple Siege Tanks, and a Banshee. The STC will spot this though, as he is controlling this Xel'Naga watchtower, which sees most of these 2 ramps here that lead to the middle. He has now spotted this Banshee, and now has his natural up. MarineKingPrime does not yet have any kind of natural up, so oGsTheSC going for a little bit more of a defensive play here as he tries to drone up. He is even on harvesters at the moment. I just said drone up. That's how you know I'm not a Terran player, ladies and gentlemen. oGsTheSC has now sieged up, and he is now moving his flying units out here to get some vision out here, and man, that Banshee is not going to be able to do any damage. These siege tanks, excellent move here by the STC with these forward Vikings. Up here on this high ground, the Marines are unable to actually do any kind of damage to these Vikings, but they give sight to these siege tanks, which allowed them to get full advantage of their range, and this siege tank is going to be taken out quite quickly, forcing MarineKingPrime here to move back. Now has a Viking of his own, so we are seeing that those Vikings used for vision here. A lot of Marines on the field for MarineKingPrime, quite suitable. But oh my goodness, we have a lot of SCVs here moving out across the field now from MarineKingPrime. So he is looking to do an all-in play here. All his forces are now across the map. Most of his SCVs are now in. He is completely all in here at this point. And oh my gosh, so many SCVs going down as the SCVs move in, taking a lot of damage for these Marines as these Marines come in, and oh my goodness, MarineKingPrime is actually doing a lot of damage here. Wow, that is unbelievable. I could not believe how much damage he did, considering that those siege tanks were so well placed on that ledge. There is still 1 siege tank remaining, which is destroying any reinforcements that are coming in. So oGsTheSC might be able to hold this. He still has a chance. All these Marines are very low, but MarineKingPrime is doing a lot of damage. Oh my gosh, and these SCVs are here to heal and repair this bunker. A Banshee has now come across the field, and is going to try to get some SCV kills in here. It will be interesting. There is a lot of energy on this orbital command though, and I think he's going to be able to hold this off with these 4 Marines here. This is going to be pretty much over. I cannot see how MarineKingPrime can come back from this. It was a kind of a nice push. It was kind of a nice little all-in push there, but he was already too well established, had too many SCVs here mining at his natural. His econ is going to be much stronger. As we can see, he has over double the food of MarineKingPrime. The STC sitting at 73 food to MarineKingPrime 37 food rather. He is still streaming forces across the field, but there is not much that MarineKingPrime can do here. He is going to have to try to do one last little push. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls all the rest. Nope. In fact, he has decided that he cannot win this game. It was quite a nice little push, as I said, but man, he just was unable to break the forces there of oGsTheSC with those forward siege tanks nicely spread there on that ledge. This means that we are going into Game 4 of oGsTheSC versus MarineKingPrime. So we will see if oGsTheSC can tie this up. It is now 1-2 with MarineKingPrime in the lead. Game 4 in a moment.